The Western theater of the American Civil War played a crucial role in the outcome of the conflict. Stretching across the states of Tennessee, Mississippi, and along the Mississippi River, this region became the battleground for some of the most significant engagements of the war. Unlike the more widely publicized battles in the Eastern Theater, the Western Theater had a strategic importance due to its control over key river systems and major supply lines. The Union's focus was on gaining control of the Mississippi River and cutting off the Confederacy's access to supplies and reinforcements from the West. As a result, the battles that took place here were not only pivotal for military success, but also for the overall war effort. The Union aimed to divide the Confederacy in two by seizing control of the Mississippi River, thus crippling the South's ability to coordinate its armies and sustain its war efforts. This objective would be realized through a series of key battles, most notably the Siege of Vicksburg and the Battle of Chattanooga. As these engagements unfolded, the leadership of General Ulysses S. Grant would rise to prominence, eventually leading to his promotion as General-in-Chief of all Union armies. Let us delve into these significant battles and their profound impact on the outcome of the Civil War. One of the most critical campaigns in Western theater was the Siege of Vicksburg, which took place from May to July 1863. Vicksburg, Mississippi, was strategically located on the high bluffs overlooking the Mississippi River, making it a vital point for controlling the waterway. For the Confederacy, Vicksburg was the last major stronghold on the Mississippi River, and its capture by Union forces would effectively split the Confederacy into two. Ulysses S. Grant, commanding the Union Army of Tennessee, understood the significance of taking Vicksburg. He launched a series of maneuvers and battles to isolate the city, forcing Confederate General John C. Pemberton and his forces into a defensive position. After several failed attempts to storm the city, Grant decided on a siege, surrounding Vicksburg and cutting off supplies and reinforcements. The citizens and soldiers inside Vicksburg endured weeks of bombardment and starvation as Grant's forces steadily tightened their grip on the city. On July 4, 1863, after 47 days of relentless siege, General Pemberton surrendered Vicksburg to Grant. The fall of Vicksburg was a devastating blow to the Confederacy. It gave the Union complete control of the Mississippi River, effectively severing the Confederacy's western states from the rest of the South. This victory, coupled with the Union's success at Gettysburg just a day earlier, marked a turning point in the Civil War. The Confederacy was now physically divided, and its ability to sustain the war was severely compromised. Grant's triumph at Vicksburg not only showcased his strategic brilliance, but also set the stage for his future successes. Following the Union's victory at Vicksburg, the next major battle in the Western Theater took place in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattanooga was a critical transportation hub with railroads connecting the Deep South to the rest of the Confederacy. Controlling Chattanooga meant controlling these vital supply lines, making it a key objective for both Union and Confederate forces. In the fall of 1863, after the Union suffered a setback at the Battle of Chickamauga, Confederate General Braxton Bragg's Army of Tennessee laid siege to the Union forces in Chattanooga. The Union soldiers, now trapped in the city, faced dwindling supplies and mounting pressure. In response, Ulysses S. Grant was placed in charge of all Union forces in the region, and he quickly moved to relieve the siege. Grant orchestrated a plan to open a supply line to the city known as the Cracker Line, which allowed food and reinforcements to reach the starving Union soldiers. With the siege lifted, Grant turned his attention to driving Confederates off high ground surrounding the city. On November 23 to 25, 1863, the Union forces launched a series of assaults on Confederate positions around Chattanooga. The most famous of these attacks occurred at Missionary Ridge, where Union soldiers, defying orders to halt, continued to charge uphill and overran the Confederate defenses. The Battle of Chattanooga was a decisive victory for the Union. It broke the Confederate siege, secured Union control of Tennessee, and opened the door for further advances into the Deep South. With Chattanooga in Union hands, the path was clear for General William T. Sherman's subsequent campaigns through Georgia, famously known as the March to the Sea. The victories at Vicksburg and Chattanooga were not just critical military successes, they also solidified Ulysses S. Grant's reputation as one of the most capable generals in the war. Grant's strategic foresight, determination, and ability to coordinate large-scale operations earned him the respect of his peers and superiors. His leadership at Vicksburg demonstrated his patience and willingness to adapt his tactics when necessary, while his command at Chattanooga showcased his boldness and ability to inspire his troops to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. As a result of these achievements, President Abraham Lincoln promoted Grant to the rank of General-in-Chief of all Union armies in March 1864. Grant's promotion marked a turning point in the Union's overall strategy. He was given command of all Union forces both in the Eastern and Western theaters and was tasked with coordinating a unified war effort to bring the conflict to a swift conclusion. Grant's strategy was one of relentless pressure on multiple fronts. In the East, he took direct command of the Army of the Potomac and engaged Confederate General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia in a series of brutal battles, such as the Wilderness Campaign and the Siege of Petersburg. In the West, he continued to oversee Sherman's campaigns, which would eventually lead to the fall of Atlanta and the infamous March to the Sea. Grant's leadership brought a new level of coordination and focus to the Union war effort. Under his command, Union forces relentlessly pursued the Confederates, preventing them from regrouping or relaunching significant counterattacks. By 1865, Grant's strategy of total war had torn down the Confederate armies, leading to Lee's surrender at Appomattox Courthouse in April of that year. The battles of the Western Theater were instrumental in shaping the outcome of the American Civil War. While the Eastern Theater often received more attention due to the proximity of battles to the nation's capital and the presence of well-known generals like Lee and McClellan, the Western Theater held the key to the Confederate survival. Control of the Mississippi River was essential for the Confederacy to transport troops, supplies, and communication between its eastern and western regions. By winning the Siege of Vicksburg, the Union effectively split the Confederacy in two, cutting off vital resources from Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. Furthermore, the Union's victory at Chattanooga opened the gateway to the Deep South, enabling Sherman's devastating campaigns through Georgia and the Carolinas. The Western Theater also showcased the emergence of new military leaders, most notably Ulysses S. Grant and William T. Sherman, who would play vital roles in the eventual Union victory. Their aggressive strategies and willingness to engage in total war redefined how the conflict was fought, leading to the eventual collapse of the Confederacy. In many ways, the Western Theater was the proving ground for the Union's path to victory. Through a combination of strategic river control, decisive battles, and strong leadership, the Union was able to dominate this critical region and set the stage for the final phases of the war. The Western Theater of American Civil War, encompassing Tennessee, Mississippi, and the Mississippi River, was the scene of some of the most pivotal battles of the conflict. The Siege of Vicksburg and the Battle of Chattanooga were not only significant military victories for the Union, but also marked a turning point in the war. The fall of Vicksburg gave the Union control of the Mississippi River, effectively cutting the Confederacy in half and crippling its ability to sustain the war effort. The victory at Chattanooga secured Union control of Tennessee and opened the door for further advances into the Deep South, including Sherman's infamous March to the Sea. At the center of all these successes was Ulysses S. Grant, whose leadership and strategic brilliance propelled him to the highest ranks of the Union Army. His promotion to General-in-Chief of all Union armies marked a turning point in the Union's overall strategy, as Grant coordinated a relentless, multi-front campaign that would eventually lead to the defeat of the Confederacy. The Western Theater, often overshadowed by the more publicized battles in the East, was instrumental in shaping the final outcome of the Civil War. Through its decisive battles, strategic importance, and emergence of key military leaders, the Western Theater played a crucial role in the Union's victory and eventual reunification of the United States. As we reflect on the pivotal battles of this region, we are reminded of the immense sacrifices made by soldiers on both sides and the profound impact these events had on the course of American history.